What is your American dream?
My American dream is for everyone to walk around freely and comfortable and not being afraid to show who they are.
My American dream is to help my people from my community.
My American dream is for people to be aware of different cultures and traditions and to be respectful of each other, of all those differences, because America is actually built by immigrants. We are all immigrants in this country.
My American dream is to continue doing what I'm doing and educating people about who we are as Mexicans, what we have to contribute to this country, and we are part of this country. Let's not forget that.
My American dream is for everybody to know that I'm not a bad man, that I'm really capable to do a lot of stuff in the best way possible, always with love, with respect, and with that passion that is a characteristic of us Mexicans.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Love and thank you, Groundhog Sam. Well, that should do it. It's my letter to Santa. I've been hearing a lot about this Santa guy, and everyone says if you write a letter to him, you get what you want for the holidays. So here's my letter. Dear Santa, I wish for 1, world peace and happiness, 2, a trip to Thailand so I can try to meet Pimpa. Oh, all I do is think of Pimpa and pretzels. Oh. I've been good except for eating wires. Love and thank you, Groundhog Sam. All right, I'm off to the mailbox. Back to the office.
Hey, Sam.
Yes, Brad?
Guess what? I just got you the ticket. You got approved as my emotional support groundhog to come to Thailand. You're going to get to meet Pippa.
What?
Sam, calm down a little bit, okay? Because we're not going to be around for Christmas. We want to wish everybody in the Brad Squad a Merry Christmas and a Happy, Healthy New Year from our family, which includes you, to all of their family.
Okay.
And then we can start preparing to go to Thailand.
Oh my God, this is the most exciting thing that ever happened to me, ever. Hold on, you're just my Santa. Hold on, you are my personal Santa.
Okay, calm down. Give me this. All right.
You're the best. Thank you so much. I swear to God, you are just my everything.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy, healthy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody stay safe. Enjoy whoever you're celebrating with your family and friends. And we will all see you in 2019.
Woohoo! Happy New Year, Brad Squad!
Welcome, everybody. Our last show for 2018. It is Friday, December 14th. We're starting a little early today because we have our office holiday party, which would fall right in the middle of some time of social media on our regular show. So we decided to start early today. It's our final show of the year. And welcome, Belgium Kim.
Thank you.
And welcome to everybody who is watching on Facebook, including Kamina Thielwell, Joy Palmer, Jella Shorter, Cordella Douglas, Lisa Bling Rose, Carol Anderson the Tiger, Jeff Bosey, who's watching. He was chilling out in Perv Corner. Maureen McFarlane, and what else we got here? Belgium Kim is watching.
Is she?
Dem Bassow and Crystal Chung coming in hot with the question. Ma Dukes. Where's Ma Dukes been?
We haven't seen it. Ma Dukes was in and out
I
for
think
a while.
Ma Dukes is on Jenny's enemy list. We haven't seen Ma Dukes in a while. I saw Ma Dukes on Jenny's enemy list.
That's true.
Ma Dukes, if you don't realize, Jenny from the Cubicle makes an enemy list for people who don't watch every day.
That's true.
Crystal Chung, how are you? And who else? Angela Barrett, Stacey Ann Hodge, and of course on YouTube we have Terry Ann Carby, Amira Ahmed, Nadia Bennett, Arlene Lucis, how are you? Joy Palmer, Batter Will says, bah humbug. Come on, man.
Last show of the
year. What's this bah humbug?
Well, that's why.
Come on.
It's okay.
Come on. I think he has to be visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future.
Yeah, that's.
I think we will have to send the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future to Mr. Bah Humbug over here.
Jenny from the cubicle just commented and said, "Ma Dukes, I'm watching you, girl."
So, Kim, are you getting ready for the holidays?
Yes, Brad. I'm so excited.
Are you getting ready for the office party?
If I've got time to run home.
If you have time to run, well, it depends when this is over.
It really does depend on this.
It depends when this is over.
But yeah, I'm very excited.
All right.
It's
So
fun
before
time.
we get into our schmooze, though, we are one of our very special Brad Squad members.
Yes.
Jeff Bosey, Bossy Bosey.
Exactly.
Sent us a very, very merry Santa Merry Christmas video.
Uh-huh.
That's what it says here. Jeff Bosey's very, very merry Santa Merry Christmas video.
That sounds like a 100% legit title.
Something sounds like Jeff Bosey would say or do. Let's see what he sent.
Oh, hello. I just got done watching my favorite show on YouTube, Brad Show Live. Oh, those guys are so funny. Either way, I wanted to extend a personal happy holidays to Brad Bernstein, the beautiful Belgian Kim, and Yo-Yo Jonathan Elias. I would be dismissed if I didn't go ahead and wish happy holidays to the entire Brad Squad also. Happy holidays, everybody, and see you next year.
All right, Jeff Bosey, in disguise.
That's adorable.
In disguise as Santa Claus. Nobody would have guessed it was him, right?
No, absolutely.
It would have been a million years. Nobody would know that was Jeff Bosey.
That was Jeff Bosey.
As Santa Claus.
But I think he's absolutely adorable. Thank you,
He is
Jeff.
very, very adorable. I just don't want any of my children to sit on his lap.
Oh, God. No.
No.
Talk about the king of Perv Corner.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's on Perf Corner just as Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly.
But the last thing I want is my kids sitting on his lap.
It's you and Jeff just chilling on the corner.
Can we go back just the last 5 seconds of him going like this? I mean, if he doesn't look perv, right? Like, go back the last. Can we get like the last 5 seconds? He goes no, like that. And can you imagine just him doing that on Perf Corner?
Holidays, everybody, and see you next year.
I am telling you, that looks a little pervish, right?
You know, he
But it was really nice that he dressed up.
It's
That's really
so
nice.
sweet.
It was actually very sweet, and thank you. And
he sent me a text that said, I'm really sorry for not having been there for the last few days. The holidays are a crazy time for me, but I feel like I can make up for it in 38 seconds.
Is he like a Santa Claus somewhere? Why does he have this whole Santa Claus thing?
He goes crazy for Christmas.
Oh,
Last year, I
crazy for
remember
Christmas.
he sent us a picture of like his house full of
Is he like
inflatables
one of those guys who does like the whole thing and like everybody drives by and like stops and takes.
if I remember correctly, yes, people definitely take pictures of him, and I think he raises money for a charity.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you that he actually would take the time out to dress up as Santa Claus and actually make that video. It was really nice, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. All right, so let's get into schmoozing because we got a lot to do here on our last show.
Yes, we do.
All right, and we're going to do something that we like to call here schmoozing with Brad. All right, so the Trump inaugural committee is under criminal investigation. What else is new, right? I mean, Trump is under investigation. His committee is under investigation. Everything's under investigation.
Right.
Do we need to talk any more about this?
Donald Trump spends money poorly and is a criminal when doing so.
Yeah,
covered.
Right. Exactly. Actually, it's very sad. I don't know if you saw the 7-year-old migrant girl. She was brought into immigration custody. She was caught by Border Patrol at the border. She wasn't even trying to sneak into the United States. Her family came to the border, applied for asylum. They took her into detention, into the family detention. So it wasn't like a situation where the family was like trying to climb the fence or anything.
Right.
And she died within 24 hours of being in detention of dehydration and shock. She obviously made a very long journey from Central America, had no water. The U.S. government or the officials there at the Department of Homeland Security did not recognize that she was ill, sick, dehydrated. And after she was taken into custody, she died 24 hours later. It says here the child's death is likely to intensify scrutiny of the detention conditions at the Border Patrol stations. According to the CBP records, the girl and her father were taken into custody at 10 o'clock on December 6th as part of a group of 163 people who approached U.S. agents.
So they approached the agents.
To turn themselves in.
Right.
And more than 8 hours later, the child began to have seizures at 6:30. Emergency responders arrived. Her body temperature was 105 degrees.
Oh, my God.
She was helicoptered to El Paso Hospital and unfortunately did not make it. The CBP says our sincerest condolences go out to the family of the child. Border Patrol agents took every possible step to save the child's life under the most trying of circumstances. I don't know if I would go that far, all right, because if they took every step, they would have recognized when she was apprehended and taken to jail that she was ill.
Right.
And it says, as fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, we empathize with the loss of any child. And obviously, I would assume you would have to empathize with that.
Right, but that...
But I don't know about taking every step possible. So in November, 25,000 people, just in the month of November, were seized and put into these family detentions.
Wow.
But there's a lot of people getting sick, but this is the first child that I'm aware of that passed away within 24 hours. So that's pretty sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And rest in peace. It's a terrible, terrible situation. And we were just talking about that yesterday. It's a terrible situation to outlive your child.
Yes.
Okay, parent is never the same.
And
never ever the same.
And that's why I feel like these statements of like, we empathize from Customs and Border Patrol, those parents don't need your empathy. They need their daughter.
They lost a child. So, a little more than empathy.
Right.
Right.
But
a little
maybe
more...
take care of the child.
Yeah. Well, here's some good news. The Lego Foundation.
Yes.
Legoland.
Love Legoland.
Legos.
Yes.
Has given the Sesame Workshop a donation. Sesame Workshop is Big Bird.
Right, the Sesame Street gang.
Right, versus the Perv Corner gang.
That is a completely different,
yeah, it's
which
completely
is just
different.
you and Jeff Posey.
Right, me and Jeff Posey. But the Sesame Street gang has a bird.
Right.
An Elmo.
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster, a Count Dracula.
Right.
Says, this is one time you said Perv Corner. We have now said 2 times Perv Corner. That's what he just counts.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Remember him?
But not nearly as well as you do, Brad.
Yes, Cookie Monster. There is Cookie Monster. But since 2015, the Sesame Workshop and the Lego Foundation have worked together in India, Mexico, and South Africa to give children in need the opportunity to learn through play. Aww. And now, for the first time, they're teaming up to address the specific needs of children in crisis. So on this past Wednesday, the Lego Foundation announced that it would award Sesame Workshop $100 million over 5 years to support children affected by the Syrian refugee crisis. The Sesame Workshop are going to use these funds to provide play-based learning opportunities through mass media programming, direct services, which include a play-based curriculum, and safe spaces for children to play. Now, the Lego Foundation was inspired to make this grant after the John D. and Catherine D. MacArthur Foundation awarded Sesame Workshop and the International Rescue Committee $100 million last December to educate children displaced in the Middle East. Sherry Weston, the president of Global Impact and Philanthropy for Sesame Workshop, points to research showing children need to play in order to learn and grow in an emotionally positive way. Weston says that such joyful learning is critical for a child's brain development.
Right.
Especially during their first 5 years of life, which is why Sesame Workshop will work with Syrian refugees from 0 to 8 and Rohingya refugees from 0 to 6 years old, also in Bangladesh. So this grant is going both to Syrian and Rohingya refugees. The organization is also in the process of developing an all-new Arabic production of Sesame Street, featuring a character who leaves their home and becomes best friends with another character from the region.
Oh my God, that's absolutely beautiful.
Right. And finally, I would love to be at their dinner table.
Okay.
At the evening. Kellyanne Conway. People know who Kellyanne Conway is, right?
Yeah, keeper of the crypt.
Okay, she's the keeper of the crypt. She's the one who always goes on CNN and says the most absurd things.
Ridiculous.
On behalf of Donald Trump.
Right.
So, and she's the White House advisor, Kellyanne Conway. She spent 39 minutes defending President Trump on CNN last night.
Oh my God.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, because I can't watch her anymore.
No, yeah, I can't either.
But she gets no love from her husband George.
What?
Now, George, her husband, they've been married for over a decade.
Right.
Trolled her on Twitter.
No, he did not.
Yes, and basically what happened before we talk about George, the husband,
right,
trolling Kellyanne Conway on Twitter.
Twitter, right?
Boy, where's my head in the turf corner
yeah,
today, right?
You're back where you belong,
I'm right there on turf corner. So they had an argument on CNN, Kellyanne Conway and Chris Cuomo, who's one of the, I think he's on at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Correct.
And they had an argument that, and Kellyanne Conway says, you took a shot at the president tonight, Chris. You called him a slur, and I'm not going to repeat it. And when Cuomo asked what the slur Kellyanne was referring to, Conway says, you're saying he's not telling the truth. That's a slur. That's a slur.
Liar
now, there's nobody who doesn't tell the truth more than Donald Trump.
Right.
So, Kellyanne Conway insisted that Donald Trump knew nothing about this hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels and the ex-playmate Karen McDougal. But when the slugfest ended, after 39 minutes on CNN, George, the husband of Kellyanne Conway, and an unabashed Trump critic, tweeted, quote, given that Trump has repeatedly lied about the Daniels and McDougal payments, and given that he lies about virtually everything else to the point that his own former personal lawyer described him as a fucking liar, why should we take his word over that of federal prosecutors? Hashtag or at Kellyanne Conway, his wife. Are you kidding me?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the majority of Conway's tweets and retweets take aim at President Trump's presidency. So now fellow Twitter users enjoyed the display of the marital discord between Kellyanne and George.
No kidding.
Ritzy Ritz 247 wrote, wow, dinner time at your house must be on fire. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Right? And Rara Tomer said, I'm at the point where I think this is a fetish for the two of you, which is weird. It's weird, right? It's weird.
It's
weird.
Gotta be.
It's gotta be weird.
This man, the only thing on his Twitter is anti-Trump stuff.
Yes.
So I just don't understand.
It's just crazy. What do they talk about at dinner? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine they're throwing stuff at each other? I mean, or they could say, you know what, we're not going to talk about politics. How was your day, honey, today? Well, I'm not talking about my job with you.
Right.
So what are you going to talk about?
I feel like they just have a bunch of hate sex, Brad. I feel
think
like
so?
that is their entire
Can you
relationship is just based on hate
Can you imagine?
sex.
I think, there's some people, and I was having this discussion about it with somebody yesterday.
Okay.
There are some people out there that have torrid sex.
Yeah.
And that keeps their relationship going, but they actually hate each other.
100%.
And I was just having this conversation.
Who are you having?
But with who? Whoever I was at dinner with. And I was just having that conversation last night. We were talking about all the different types of, relationships that, are out there.
Right.
And we were just having, and we were both giving, examples of people we know that literally have been married. They hate each other. They can't stand being with each other, but they have this great sex.
Of course.
And it just keeps them together.
It's the passion.
And I think that's, I could totally see Kellyanne Conway coming home and going, George, how dare you tweet me like that? George, wait, come back to it. George, how dare you? How dare you tweet that? Boom, and slap him across the face. Now kiss me, damn it. You can totally see that, right? Now kiss me, damn it.
Absolutely.
Take me, George, take me.
I gotta be honest, I feel like if someone's getting taken, it's more George than it is Kellyanne.
Jeff is like, this is so a Wednesday episode.
It's our last of the year.
It's the last of the year, Jeff. And we had to get this in because it would be stale. It was just so funny to us.
It's hilarious.
It would be so funny to us. And it would be so stale if we waited until January.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like she just walks in and she's like, sex dungeon now.
Yes. And he just starts whipping him or something.
Absolutely.
Right? And he's like, all right, I was bad.
I'm so bad.
Safe word, safe word. Imagine what the safe word is. Pets.
Oh, no, not pets.
You imagine the safe word's pets.
No, because it can't be anything that they would otherwise say
That's true.
in their intercourse, and I feel like they definitely.
I don't know it that much, you know. Kim,
well, what I hear about safe words.
Obviously, you're an expert at this. You know, you got to pick a word that you wouldn't use otherwise.
Don't ever use it otherwise.
Yes. What was that movie? Euro Trip? Far from.
Flar, flu.
And he couldn't say it.
Are you sure?
Yes. Far from. I couldn't come out with this.
The power tools.
Nobody knows what Kim and I are talking about. If you've ever seen the movie Euro Trip.
That's true. But
Kim
we amuse each other.
One of our favorite movies.
Oh, God, yes. I love that movie.
All right. So meanwhile, we have nobody on hold for immigration questions, Belgium Kim. So if you call right now, do we have anybody? Do we have people in the call center, right?
I believe I do.
All right. So if you call right now, why don't you tell people to share, and then I'll tell people to call.
Okay.
And if not, we'll go right to social media.
Solid division of labor
Okay,
there.
thank you very much.
Fantastic. Okay, you guys, I'm going to tell you how to share. And the way that you share the very last show of the year, for no one to miss it, is that you're going to share it on your own timeline, on friends' timelines. Go deep. Do the ones that you haven't talked to in a little while, and into groups that you're a member of. On YouTube, we're going to ask you guys to copy the link and send it to people through text messages and WhatsApp, and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you'll know when we are back.
And there you have it.
Boom.
And so we're going to get to something that we call, you got a question, I've got an answer for you right now. Call with your immigration questions, 1-800-529-5465. And for our last show of the year, Belgium Kim, there's nobody who has an immigration question.
Well, not so on social media,
right.
Surely. But
so we're going to skip right over. We're going to skip right over Block D, and we're going to go to something that we like to call social media check-in. All right.
We had to get the graphic in there,
Exactly.
even if there were no calls.
No calls, all right.
Our first question is from Shakur, who said, my son is a U.S. citizen. He's in the military. He sent in the I-130 about 3 months ago. He also sent in the G1145 along with the I-130, but he never got a text or an email. What should we do?
What do you mean? You wouldn't get a text from immigration.
Yeah, that's
You
weird,
should get a
right?
receipt notice back in the mail.
In the mail.
In the mail.
Have your son check his mail. We don't check our mails. Our mail as
Correct.
millennials. Kiana said, can I travel to another state knowing that I've fallen out of status on my student visa? I'd like to fly.
You can. You're always taking a chance, but it's so unlikely that anybody would bother you. I wouldn't, not sleep because of it.
10 said, I'm a citizen and want to bring my fiance. So should I apply for a fiance visa, which I heard is faster, or should I apply for the I-130?
Well, you can't file an I-130 if you're not married to the woman. So if you're not married to the woman, you're going to file the fiance visa. If you're married to her, you're going to file the I-130. So it depends what your situation is.
We've got
every time I got to talk really fast. He's going back and forth. But if you want to hear faster, do the fiance visa. Don't marry her. Now
you're done. Are you sure?
come back to me.
Just double check.
Yes, I'm done. Okay,
All that
next.
for that.
Yes.
Maina said, can you get married while you're in removal proceedings?
Yes, but you got to prove it's a bona fide marriage. They're going to scrutinize your marriage, but yes, it's a way to avoid deportation.
Do they scrutinize you extra if you get married while you're in deportation?
Yeah, because it's presumed that you got married just to avoid deportation.
Right. The timing is, I got you. Elaine says, I'm looking for a visitor's visa. I've never been to the U.S., but I'm from Jamaica, and I work and live in the Bahamas. I also have my aunt and uncle who live in the U.S. My friend is also from Jamaica, and he has a green card for the last year. How can I go about applying for a visitor's visa?
Go to the U.S. Embassy, prove you're going to return to the Bahamas.
Leonardo said, to receive my passport, I'd like to make an info pass appointment to get my passport. Is it okay to take my green card with me, or could they take it away from me?
You're going to make an info pass appointment. No one's handing you back your passport because it's not going to be with the officer who sits there at the window that you're going to ask a question about. So if they have your passport, it's not going to be by info pass appointment. Got to contact the officer who has your passport.
Natasha says, I came with an H-1B visa and I got married to a green card holder. He put in my I-130 in 2016 and I got an approval. Since after my approval, I did not get any reply. My date has become available and I'm doing a waiver, but I haven't received any letter for a fingerprint or anything like that. What's your advice?
Can you say that again, please?
Absolutely, Brad.
Thank you very much.
So Natasha's husband filed for her. She was here on an H-1B. Her husband is a green card holder, and he filed for her in 2016. She got the approval, but she hasn't heard anything since. She's doing a waiver as well. She hasn't received anything about fingerprinting, anything at all.
So she's overstayed her time then?
Yes.
All right. So the waivers take about 9 to 12 months. So hang in there.
Okay. So, but if he filed for her originally in 2016.
Well, you should have heard from the National Visa Center.
Okay.
And you should be writing the National Visa Center to say, I'm going to do a provisional waiver. And then you file the provisional waiver. So if you haven't done that, come see us.
Ha. Rochelle says, what if you file for an abused spouse case and get denied? What's your next step?
File again if you feel that it was done in error, and try to prove that you're an abused spouse and it was a real marriage.
Scott says, my American-born kids are on welfare, but I'm not. Am I safe before my green card interview?
For now, yes.
Shine says, I've got a question about an adjustment by a U.S. citizen. Do we do the I-130A or the I-131A?
Both. You do the is this?
She's about an adjustment by a U.S. citizen.
You do an I-130 and I-130A. The I-131 is for the advanced parole, but you do both, the I-130 and the I-130A. I think that's what she was asking.
Got it. Vanish Beckford said, if you file your I-130 in 2017 while your spouse was a permanent resident, now he's a citizen, do you file the adjustment? Does that date become your priority date?
That date becomes your priority date for scheduling you for an adjustment interview, yes.
Ooh, that's good. David, my boo David Gabriel, says, if the mother has citizenship and the son is below 18 years old, how can he get his passport? He's got a 10-year green card right now.
Prove that you live with the mother in her legal and physical custody, and you apply for a U.S. passport and a certificate of citizenship.
Gaza said, my stepmom filed for me. She's an American. I'm 19. How long is the process going to take?
Who filed for her?
Stepmom.
About a year.
George in Hartford said that his VAWA case was approved in October. About when should he expect the interview to take place?
His VAWA case was approved?
Yes.
Well, did you file an adjustment, George? If you didn't file an adjustment, you're not getting an interview. If you filed an adjustment, then how is your VAWA approved already?
Those are good questions that you're asking, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
George, tell us more.
Maybe he just filed the I-360. Now you got to file an adjustment. Now you're going to wait another year and a half. I don't know. I don't know what he did.
We don't know what he did. Desiree said, can someone that's been banned from the U.S. ever come back?
Depends what you were banned for. If it was drugs, no. If it was just because I lived here illegally and I left, possibly.
So we just don't know. Mm-hmm. Santos said, I've got a friend who's a U.S. citizen. He wants to know if he can sue the U.S. Embassy because they claim that his wife gave them false documents. Can he do that?
Yes, he can.
We've got a question from Zizi, who said, Dear Sir Brad, ooh, you've been knighted in this question.
Yes.
I'm from Morocco and I've got a green card. I've been in Morocco for almost 7 years. I've got a fiance there. I do not know what to do. What's your advice? And thank you so much.
Well, it sounds like you gave up your green card if you've been in Morocco for the last 7 years. So that's a problem. Give us a call.
Becca says, me and my husband never file taxes together. Would it affect us when it comes time to file for my green card? We filed the I-130. It's been 9 months and we haven't gotten an approval yet.
You should be filing your joint taxes. Go amend your tax returns.
Nadia said, do I have to have a psychologist report when filing for VAWA?
No.
Crystal says, hey Brad, my brother was stopped at the airport in Jamaica traveling to the U.S. and was told by the airline agent to check with the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica. The embassy didn't send him any letter, and he's got a 10-year visa and travels once or twice a year and never overstayed. So he has a 10-year visitor's visa. Has never overstayed. 4 weeks is the longest he's stayed in the U.S. What can he do? He has no criminal record. He called the embassy. They gave him an email to send the matter, and he got an automatic message about revocation. Where can he go to actually get some answers? He's never gotten anything that says that
his visa was revoked. We don't know why, but he can come to us and we'll find the answers for him.
Amira said, how long does it take for a travel waiver to be approved?
What kind of travel waiver?
That's all we got.
I don't know what she's talking about, a travel waiver. I don't know what a travel waiver is.
Maybe advanced parole?
Advanced parole, about 6 months.
Total guess. If that's what you meant, there you go.
Okay.
Crystal said, can my brother's fiance marry him and bring him over even though so this is actually Crystal whose brother got his visa, his travel visa revoked. Now she's wondering, could his fiance marry him and then bring him over to the U.S. because she is American?
It's possible. We still have to figure out why it was revoked.
Right. Brian said, can I apply for a student visa while I'm here in the U.S.? I'm currently here on a visitor's visa.
Yes, as long as you file 90 days after you come, between 90 and 180 days, yes.
Nalma said, how long does it take to apply for a fiance visa?
About 9 to 12 months.
Fox Racing has a question. How does moral character affect your citizenship interview?
You need to prove 5 years good moral character. If you have something in your 5 years that doesn't necessarily mean you have bad moral character, but it relates to something that was bad moral character 20 years ago, they can relate it back. So for example, as an example, let's say 20 years ago, you were arrested and convicted for a shoplifting offense. And then you had a clean record. And then 1 year before you file your citizenship, you got arrested again for a shoplifting offense, but they threw the case out. So all you have on your record is that you have a conviction from 20 years ago for shoplifting. But now you have this arrest that in of itself would not be bad moral character, because you can get arrested, you can have a bad day. But they say, you know what, you got arrested for something in this 5 years that relates back to something you did 20 years ago. We think you have bad moral character. That's how they can use it sometimes. Sometimes it's just you got arrested 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You don't have any convictions. You don't have anything that makes you deportable. But because you got arrested so often, they think you're a person of bad moral character. Perhaps you were working and didn't pay your taxes. You're a person of bad moral character. Perhaps you don't pay your child support. You're a person of bad moral character. So just because you don't have deportable offenses doesn't mean you are a good person. They may consider you a person of bad moral character depending on the situation.
Busha says, I'm a permanent resident. I put in my citizenship, did my biometric already, and my fiance overstayed her visa. Should I wait until I get my citizenship to marry her, or could I go ahead and marry her?
Go marry her.
Da, 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 da. And our last question.
Oh, one more.
One more. From the man himself, Jeff Bosey.
Yes.
Asking for a friend, does Santa need a provisional waiver to go from country to country in one night?
No, because provisional waivers you only need if you lived in the United States out of status for more than 180 days. Santa did not live in the United States out of status for more than 180 days. He just literally travels in and out over 24 hours. Now, Santa may be entering without inspection.
That's true. There's no sled ports of entry.
There are no sled port of entry.
Right.
Right. So that we don't know. Okay. And certainly Rudolph may be a alien smuggler bringing Santa along on the sleigh.
That's true.
All right. Rudolph could be going to jail. But certainly he doesn't need a provisional waiver, Santa.
Rudolph becomes a coyote and not a reindeer.
Correct. He is a coyote.
Rudolph the coyote.
That would be like the updated version, you know? Like there's like some guy smuggling Santa across the border.
That's so dark. We just created the immigration children's story for you. That's all I got, Brad. That's a great note to end on.
Right. So meanwhile, Anna banana. We got to say goodbye to Anna
yes, we
Ascona. And she has her last This Doesn't Make Any Sense of the year.
Okay.
She's going to talk about Peter Sean Brown. He's a U.S. citizen who was born in Philadelphia and now lives in Florida. And when he went to the sheriff's office because he had tested positive for marijuana while on probation, he was taken into custody and put into deportation. Although Peter, his boss, and his loved ones kept telling the authorities he was a U.S. citizen, he was held in detention for 3 weeks. And our Miami field correspondent, Anna Ascona, has a lot to say about this. Let's watch.
Hey friends from the Brad Show Live, I'm Anna Ascona. A sheriff in Florida worked with ICE to illegally arrest and deport a U.S. citizen. Do you hear that? A U.S. citizen. What in the world is going on? Peter Sean Brown is a U.S. citizen born in Philadelphia and has been living in Florida for about 10 years. In April, a Monroe County sheriff held him in jail to try to deport him even though he's a U.S. citizen. How could this even be real? And let me just mention, Peter has never, ever heard of ICE until this happened. Peter was visiting the sheriff's office for violating probation with a low-level marijuana offense. And the sheriff told him they were holding him in to deport him back to Jamaica. Peter knows nothing about Jamaica. He's only visited once on a cruise. So now I'm wondering, is Peter Jamaican, or are they just assuming that he's from Jamaican descent? Anyways, Peter told him he is a U.S. citizen. He even tried to show him his birth certificate. He called ICE and got no answer. The jail officers ignored him, and instead they were mocking him with a Jamaican accent. How racist is that? After Peter was turned into ICE and they finally decided to look at his birth certificate and saw that he was a U.S. citizen, they released him right away. Exactly 3 weeks and 1 day later. How could this even be possible? That just doesn't make any sense. And the fact that the sheriff's office knew his legal status and still turned him in is just very wrong. And first of all, how could ICE even issue a deportation before checking his legal status in the States? You guys are not doing your job correctly, and something needs to be done. Peter has filed a lawsuit against the sheriff's office for violating his Fourth Amendment, which protects people from unreasonable searches by the government. I just hope justice is made because this can't keep happening. Peace.
All right, and by the way, it's not the only case. We have cases in our office probably, I see 3, 4, 5 times a year where U.S. citizens get unlawfully deported. It happens a lot. I just recently brought somebody back who was a U.S. citizen who got deported and was out of the country for 9 years. And then I spoke to them and I'm like, by the way, you know you're a U.S. citizen? I am? I didn't know. And then literally we had the man walk into the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, Jamaica, and after being ordered deported and never thinking he'd come back, he got a U.S. passport in 2 weeks and came back.
Oh my God.
So they deport people all the time who are U.S. citizens. Not maybe as egregious as this.
Right.
I mean, it's always egregious when you deport a U.S. citizen.
Absolutely.
You know, in this guy's case, he had a green card and his parents were citizens before he was 18, and ICE and the immigration judge never checked to see if he derived citizenship or not.
Oh my God.
So he lived, and Jill says, can he sue for that? The answer is yes.
Uh-huh.
But since it happened over 8 years ago, the statute of limitations ran. So it doesn't get told because you just found out recently that you're a U.S. citizen. So you have to, you know, if you do get deported, there is still a statute of limitations on that.
That is so foul.
Yeah.
The government messes up and they have a statute of limitations of their own mess up.
Yeah. And by the way, I do have to say hello to Ma Dukes.
Yes.
I'm getting called out by everyone on the Brad Squad.
You are.
Jenny, please take Ma Dukes off our enemy list. She's back in the Brad Squad. Apparently, she was with us every day, and I missed her.
Yeah, I know.
So
I gotta be honest. I missed Ma too.
All right, I didn't see her in the,
I
comments.
haven't seen her. No.
All right, so Ma Dukes, you're back. You're off the enemy list.
Oh, nice.
All right.
I have 3 quick questions.
Right, let's go.
Super quick. Thank you, Brad. Nadia says, I'd like to file for VAWA and leave my husband. My concern is that we have a newborn, and I've seen messages where he's told someone that he can get rid of me and keep my son because my son's American. I'm concerned. What can I do?
You leave him. You don't let him threaten you. You shouldn't be living in an abusive relationship. You will be able to keep your child. You will get a green card.
Mahindra says, can a visitor to the U.S. who has 3 months to stay get married to a green card holder while they're here?
Yes.
And finally, Marie says if someone is banned for 5 years because they worked on a visitor's visa, can they re-enter at any other time or any other visa? For example, if they get married to a U.S. citizen?
They need a waiver to ever come back to the United States. They're banned for life without a waiver. All right? It's really, and everyone always uses the word banned, but it's actually you're inadmissible.
Inadmissible.
Is the key, is the word.
Wow.
So meanwhile, Belgium Kim, to get into the holiday spirit,
yes,
because that's what she does.
That is what I do.
She went to Dyker Heights, Brooklyn, to tour the neighborhood's Christmas cheer.
Yes.
Apparently, there's a lot of Christmas cheer in Dyker Heights. Every Christmas, Dyker Heights turns into what they call Dyker Lights.
Yes.
Let's check it out.
Hey Brad Squad, it's Belgium Kim, and if Christmas decorations equals Christmas cheer, then I am bringing you to the most cheerful place in the world, Dyker Heights, Brooklyn. It's been named one of the best Christmas displays in the country, so what better place to tell you about some of the international beginnings to some of your favorite Christmas decorations than right here in Dyker Heights. And to tell us all about it, we've got Christmas expert Tony Muya, who is the owner of the only real Dyker Heights Christmas Lights tour out of his company, A Slice of Brooklyn Bus Tours. We'll also talk to the woman who started it all, Dyker Heights Christmas Lights founder, Lucy Spada, and one Greek immigrant who has totally leaned into the Christmas tradition. Check it out. I'm here with Tony Muya, the owner of A Slice of Brooklyn Bus Tours and the man behind the preeminent Dyker Heights Christmas Lights tours. Hi, Tony.
How you doing, Kim?
Hey, we already got Tony the Italian ready for us. What are the Dyker Heights Christmas Lights?
The Dyker Heights phenomenon started in the 1980s when a very strong-willed Italian woman named Lucy Spada moved here from Bensonhurst. She wanted to continue the tradition that her mom did in Bensonhurst, and she decorated here in this quiet neighborhood. The neighbors weren't too happy about it, so they knocked on her door and complained, and her response to them was, "You don't like it, move." Right? Yeah. When she didn't take down the lights, they called the cops on her, so what did Lucy do? She hired a band to play Christmas carols outside her house. And that's why we love Lucy. But now you could see homeowner after homeowner has really jumped in on the act, and you could see, we call it Dyker Lights. Since the 1980s, I mean, we've been coming here. Any Brooklynite, you know, they would come here for the lights. We wouldn't go to Rockefeller Center. Right. That's why I had to make my company slogan this time of year, Rockefeller Center, forget about it. It really has become quite a phenomenon, and it's part of this whole Italian-American tradition of decorating for the holidays, you know, Christmas being the most holy holiday other than, you know, as well as Easter, I should say. Right. So you'll see a lot of nativities here, and it really is a tradition that we've just absolutely loved since the 1980s.
You've talked to us a lot about the Italian heritage of the area. What's your immigration story?
My folks came over from Italy, from the southern tip of Italy, from Calabria. I'm first-generation American, born and raised in Bensonhurst. My name's Tony, and I have two younger brothers named Vinny and Joe. You can't make this stuff up.
Hey, Brad Squad. I am here with the woman who started it all, Lucy Spada. Lucy, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Lucy, what came over you to start such a tradition? What inspired you to start such a tradition?
It all started when I was a kid. I mean, I didn't start it. My mother did. I just started it over here.
Okay.
You know, it was too dead. Too dead.
Too dead.
For Christmas. It wasn't lively. It looked like everybody was just locked their doors and rolled up the sidewalks.
Not okay. Not okay.
Not good with me, no.
So your mom had a really extravagant Christmas display as well. Where was this?
This was in Bensonhurst.
Okay.
At that time, those years, there wasn't all this lights and all this stuff. But she decorated. She decorated enough.
What's your immigration story, Lucy?
Well, my mother comes from Naples. Mm-hmm. My father comes from Sicily.
Okay.
I was born in America.
Uh-huh.
And all my grandmother, my grandfather, they come from Naples. My father's mother and father come from Sicily.
You started it in Dyker Heights when you moved here. When was that?
1986.
What was the initial reaction? Because you're saying it was a dead neighborhood, we're not doing anything for Christmas, and then you come out with this. What was the reaction?
Well, they thought I was nuts. Like, what moved here? Where'd she come from? But then it kicked in.
Yeah.
Took a while, but it kicked in.
Are you getting more houses every year kind of joining it?
Yeah, there's a lot of people joining it. Like, you want to move here, you better decorate or don't move here.
Right, I heard that when you had people come up to you and complain about it for the very first time, you told them something. What did you tell them?
Move.
Now, I also heard about a particularly fantastic story, a group that you hired whenever people complained. What did you do, Lucy?
I hired a band. Closed the street. I put the band in the middle of the street.
For how long?
I had it the whole weekend. I had it on a Friday and Saturday night.
Do you still have the most extravagant display in the area?
I don't know about the other blocks, but yeah, I think so.
You were saying that this is to kind of honor and commemorate your mom. This is keeping your mom's tradition going. How does it do that? Do you still have pieces of hers?
I have some pieces. I know this is something she would like. I know she liked it, so maybe it's just like putting a light on her memory at this time of the year.
That's really beautiful. Tony, thank you so much for taking us to Lucy's house. Now, I'm seeing a monster across the street here. What is this haven of Christmas spirit?
This is the Palizzato house. Isn't it amazing?
Whoa, whoa. I don't think I've ever seen a Santa Claus that big.
No, it's 15 feet tall. Sculpted steel.
Right.
After Lucy set up her house, Alfred Palizzato went all out and hired someone by the name of Lou Nasty.
Lou Nasty?
Who actually looks like Geppetto. Terrible name, but is a really nice guy.
That's amazing.
And he makes animatronic figures, and he created this entire Toyland theme. It's a 15-foot tall Santa, 20-foot tall wooden soldiers behind him. Down front, you see rotating wooden soldiers, merry-go-rounds, rocking horses that have mechanisms that weigh over 350 pounds each. It's an entire Toyland theme, and it has become a staple of the Dyker Heights tradition.
Now, you were giving me a little bit of history about who Al was and what he was. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Sure. Al was a lawyer.
We love lawyers on our show.
Oh, do you?
We do.
Al was a lawyer, and he was suffering from cancer, and he was a cancer survivor, and he wanted to give back to children who survived cancer, just basically anyone that came to visit for the holidays, and he would often get dressed up as Santa and give out toys, and he would actually be able to speak into a microphone, and Santa would become animated, and he would see the kids through a camera in Santa's belt, and he would be able to talk to the kids, and you can imagine a child having a 16-foot tall Santa talking to him. Sadly, Al passed away quite a few years ago, but the night he passed away, all the lights went black in Dyker in his honor. So now his widow, Florence, she continues the tradition, and it gets put up every year.
Ready for the next house? What's the next house we're seeing?
There's a beautiful greenhouse around the corner.
God, I'm so full of Christmas spirit right now. Tell me. Okay, Brad Squad, I am here with Sam Belos, or as we've heard all night, Sam the Greek. Now, Sam, why do they call you Sam the Greek?
Because I'm the Sam the Greek. They don't know my last name, so they call me Sam the Greek. And now everybody get used to it, Sam the Greek.
So you have, obviously, quite an insane Christmas display here. When did this start? How did this start?
Well, I started back in 34 years ago. And actually I was the first one started heavy as I'm been doing now.
Yeah.
And everybody else after that started up.
You've got the reindeer on power lines, Sam. Have you always, even in Greece, did you do crazy Christmas displays?
Well, yes. As I'm a little kid, since 8, 9 years old, I made my first Christmas tree. So and then I came here and I started back in 74. And then I started this house back in 1982.
What's your very favorite Christmas item?
The train right there. That took me 2.5 weeks to make.
I can't tie rope lights around a mirror. I tried. I'm not even kidding. They fell. I'm going to. Are there traditions? Are there different Greek traditions for Christmas than in the U.S.?
No.
Really?
It's the same thing. It's the same.
Has any of your Greek family seen this? Are they surprised?
Yes, everybody's surprised.
Everybody's a little surprised. Are these things that you've just been collecting over the years?
Hello. Apparently everything's frozen. So I'm going to make pretend that we were supposed to do that.
Exactly.
Okay, we're back. By the way, we missed the best part of the thing.
We did.
The highlight.
We did.
The last 2 minutes was the highlight.
It is, and I'll spoil it a bit and tell you why. Sam the Greek, Lucy, Sam, Tony, they all get interviewed frequently. They were just on Good Morning America. They get interviewed about these crazy light displays frequently. But one thing that Sam has never ever done to any news crew is allowed them to see the inside of his house.
We were the first ones.
As crazy, and he let us in.
Wow!
And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was.
All right. So what are we doing? Are we finishing up? Do we have it or we don't have it?
We're hoping.
What do you think, Jilly?
To see.
Hold on one second.
We're gonna hold on.
We're gonna hold on.
Have you ever been to Dyker Heights, Brad?
Yes.
Had you seen it before?
I've not been to I've been to Dyker Heights, but never on Christmas. I know where it is.
Oh,
it's
man.
It's right underneath the Verrazano Bridge.
Yes.
In Brooklyn.
Yes.
Yes, because I've been there. I'm familiar with the neighborhood.
Okay.
But I've never been there for Christmas.
Oh man.
I have not been invited there for Christmas by Sam the Greek.
Well, listen.
Or Vinny Bada Bing or whatever. What was his name?
Tony. Tony, whose brothers are Vinny and Joey.
And you can't make that stuff up, right?
I asked him if he just said that for the camera, and he said, no, I swear to God. My brothers' names are Vincent and Joseph. We call them Vinny and Joey.
All right, so let's watch the last 3 minutes.
Okay.
Wait, your house is as crazy on the inside as it is on the outside? Brad Squad, we've convinced Sam to take us inside. Are you sure you're okay with this?
Welcome.
Let's do this!
I have a Christmas tree inside 14 foot with a 21,600 lights on.
You have 21,000 lights.
600 lights.
Don't forget that 600. Yep. 21,600 lights on your Christmas tree. I'm dying. I am full of Christmas joy and spirit. The Christmas spirit has entered my body. I am Christmas. Christmas is me. This is amazing. Here it comes again. Given that this has been a tradition since you were a child, does this now remind you more of home? Is this a Greek thing for you, or is this a Christmas thing for you?
It's Christmas for me in here.
Now, does any Greek family come here to celebrate? Like, are you Christmas central?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I have a lot of friends come over from Greece. I have about 40 to 60 people almost every year here for Christmas.
Right. I mean, this is the Christmas place to be. I now know that Sam is Santa Claus. I have no doubts that he is Santa Claus. All right, Brad Squad, thank you so much for letting me take you on this amazing tour of the Dyker Heights Christmas lights. Of course, an extra special thank you to Tony Muya from A Slice of Brooklyn Bus Tours, who gave us the real lowdown, the only man who knows the true stories behind all of these insane displays. An extra special thank you to the lights founder, Lucy Spada, and Sam Bilas, who had the most insane Greek display one could ever imagine. Thank you so much for sticking around, Brad Squad. If this didn't get you in the holiday spirit, I don't know what will. Happy holidays, Brad Squad.
All right, that was really beautiful, Kim. I have Tony's Con Ed bill here. He wanted me to share with you.
Yeah. And what is it?
Can't only imagine. I would need to be next to a garbage pan because if it was my Con Ed bill, I'd be like,
you know what? And you would. He actually told me.
How much was it?
He told me. So before he switched to LEDs, it was $4,000 a month.
To do that light show.
$1,000 a month
just to do
just for his lights, for
Wow.
the inside and the outside. Now he switched to mostly LEDs.
So he's saving. So it's what?
$1,100. So now it's $2,900.
$2,900
for this.
Well, it goes to show that if you switch to LEDs, you're going to save about 25% now on your Con Ed bill.
Absolutely.
Good to know. Good to know
Absolutely.
That. All right. So before we get to comments of the day, I do want to wish everybody a wonderful, wonderful Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, whatever you may be celebrating. Happy, healthy New Year to you and your family. Sam and I are going to be going off to Thailand to look for Pimpa. Belgium Kim is going back to Belgium to look for her family.
Hopefully, I don't have to look too hard.
Yes. Julie Bean is going to Candyland.
Yes.
For her holidays, and Jenny is just going to stay in her cubicle writing her enemy list.
She's got one job all of Christmas.
Yes. All right. But in all seriousness, a happy holidays to you and your family, and let's get to finally our comments of the day.
Our very first comment is from Fox Racing, who, in the definition of extra and Christmas spirit, said, I took the day off just to be at the last Brad Show Live of 2018.
Wow, that is dedication.
That is. Could you imagine if I'd taken the day off just to watch the last Brad Show Live of 2018?
You would be here.
That's a great point.
That's right, you would be here.
We've got.
That's impossible.
That's impossible. No,
Yes.
I would just watch you just,
Right.
run the show, Brad.
I'm going to stay home and watch.
I'm going to stay home. Sorry, Brad, can't miss the episode.
That's funny.
We've got Angela Barrett, who said, oh, no, I'm sorry. We have Jessica Leamy.
Jessica Leamy.
Jessica Leamy. You
Yes.
know your favorite.
Yes.
Also, just call me for those who don't know. I'm sure going to miss the Brad Show Live and the squad. Now what the hell am I going to do on my weekday evenings? Happy holidays.
Yes. All right, Jessica Leamy.
You and me both, Jessica Leamy.
Yes.
What the
Just
hell?
don't, but you know what? Don't cheat on us. Don't
Yeah.
find a new show that you like and start cheating on us, and now all of a sudden, now you're conflicted which show to watch.
Yeah.
All right? Don't cheat on us now. We'll be back.
Stay faithful.
Stay faithful. The whole 3 weeks.
The whole 3 weeks.
Yes.
We've got Brian Woolray, who really likes the idea of a knighted Brad. He said, Brad is the knight in shining armor, Sir Brad.
I like it. I like it.
And then finally,
Yes.
we have Angela Barrett.
Uh-huh.
Angela said, ever since I started looking at Brad Show Live, it's become the best show for me. I learn new things and I've met amazing people on this show. I want to wish everyone a happy and blessed holiday, but I'm going to miss Brad and Kim and Yo-Yo and the wonderful Squad Up team. Now I have to wait till next year. Love you all. Enjoy the holiday.
Wow, that really says it all.
That's perfect.
Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy, healthy New Year to everyone and all. And hopefully next year we have peace and happiness for everybody. See you next year.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.